I have a friend, Jack, who has a skill for putting a positive spin on things in his popular travel blog. Once, when traveling, we met this weird guy whose uncle was electrocuted in the Chinese prison. Electrocuted in the Chinese prison. It is not sexy to put that in a travel blog. So Jack paraphrased the same person in his blog as the random person whose uncle occupied the chair of high voltage systems in one of the leading institutions in China. That is when I realized that language is powerful. For the same person, language can paint the image of a beast or a beauty. Dear Toastmaster, and fellow members and victims of Jack's travel blog, today I would like to talk about the deceptive diction. Before you're scared, that is just Jack's fancy way of saying my original title, The Power of Language. We play one of the two roles in our use of the language. We are either on the receiving end of information, when we listen or read, or we are on the communicating end of information, when we speak, write, blog, post, or tweet. So the receiving end or the communicating end. Let's start with the receiving end of information. The biggest share of information we receive is from media outlets. And the media writes articles using a tone that favors their sponsors. For example, an article about the national budget could be titled, $50 million allotted to torture prisoners, or $50 million allotted for enhanced questioning of detainees. It could be $50 million allotted to build more prisons, or $50 million allotted to expand our detention facilities. While one version raises caution and makes you question the administration, the other version sounds like a title we wouldn't even bother to click. While prisoner sounds like a terrifying thing, a detainee sounds kind of cool. After me being a trainee, a mentee, and an employee, a detainee sounds like my logical next step in career. While a prison sounds horrifying, a detention facility sounds like a place I would like in my vacation. Like a resort which has a spa facility, a gym facility, and a detention facility. Language is powerful. For the same information in the headline, it can make you click the article or skip the article at writer's will. Not just the news. Look at how the advertising industry in the media works. I work with smartphones. So once a colleague from marketing came up to me and said, Satish, can you describe your smartphone in technical details so I can convert this to marketing language? So I looked at the smartphone and I said, this tends to overheat. And then he noted, hottest product in the market. I said, every piece is inconsistent. And he said, every piece is unique and personalized for you. I said, this can cause cancer. He thought for a while and said, makes you appreciate life. For the same product, language can make all the difference between the product being detestable and desirable. Therefore, when you listen, be cautious. Be cautious because just the language can make the difference between how you perceive a product to the national budget. Now let's look at the communicating end of information. The biggest share of information we communicate is to people we care about, either personally or professionally. I wanted to give an example about love, but then I thought I should give an example that everybody would understand. So I have an example about breakups. Let's say you're breaking up with someone because he or she is possessive. The conversation could go like this. The boy walks up to the girl and says, do you want to hear a joke? Sure. Our relationship. We have to break up because I can't take your possessiveness anymore. Now, alternatively, the boy could say, we have to part ways because I won't be able to offer the level of togetherness you deserve and desire. Instead of blaming her possessiveness, the guy points out that the girl deserves the togetherness that she desires. Instead of crushing her heart, he sets her heart to pursue what she seeks. You see, language is powerful. For the same information, it can make all the difference between crushing a heart and comforting a heart. Therefore, when you speak, be responsible. Be responsible because your language determines the emotions of the receiver. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you're on the receiving end of information, be cautious. When you speak, be responsible. You know why? Because language is powerful. Off to Toastmasters.